Shut up and sit down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Rebel Trading Group Podcast, episode 50.
Here we are.
Coming in live, the two of us together for the first time ever in history, ever in Rebel Trading Group history. What is up, everybody? Today's date is Monday, November 5th, 2018. My name is Nathan Oliphant, and with me, next to me, is the gluten-free Jason Bessing.
The gluten-free Jason Bessing. How you doing, Nathan? This is the first time I've ever sat next to you.
I'm good.
During a podcast.
I'm good.
Doing good.
I'm well.
It's great to finally see you. It's a long time in the making, and somehow we were able to finagle it to episode 50 together, which is
Special.
the coolest.
It's special.
The coolest. We were just talking a little bit about Alex Jones. You're not a big fan.
No.
However,
Why?
I think that, and I'm going to quote him in his voice. Are you ready? The world is controlled by a guild of psychopaths that must be defeated. And that's true. And we started this 50 episodes ago, back in March. So what's that, 7 months ago? About 7 months ago, we started that because Wall Street is controlled by a guild of psychopaths that must be defeated. And that's why we are the fucking Rebel Trading Group, bringing it to you, episode 50. That's what we're all about, man.
It's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, it is. We have like 2.5 days of material now.
It's a lot.
And it's all on YouTube. It's all on YouTube.
Check us out. YouTube, Rebel Trading Group.
If you go back to our first episode, we recorded in stereo. So we had like one episode, like your voice was on one side and my voice. We've come such a far way. We have a fucking theme song now.
We were just fucking saying, go, just do it.
Just figure it. We're gonna figure it out. And I feel like about 13 episodes later, we kind of did it. And we seem to be in such a good routine now. But going back to that first episode is a little bit harsh. Sometimes it's abrasive to listen to. We've come a long way in 7 months.
The market's come a long way in 7 months.
Market has done a lot of crazy fucking things.
When did we start? February?
We started in March. It was March 18th-ish.
Let's see how the S&P did.
I don't know the exact date.
Let's see, 1 year. Let's just say March.
Also, you know what today is, though?
What's
the date?
5th of November?
And we remember the 5th of November. Have we not seen V for Vendetta?
The market was at 265 then, and it's at 273 now.
So I don't think you've seen V for Vendetta?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, man, that's like the libertarianist movie out there. That's the most rebellious shit that exists. It's so metaphorical and beautiful. I don't know. Hugo Weaving, remember the 5th of November.
I've seen it.
The vivacious V, victorious V.
I've seen it.
You didn't like it?
It was okay. Yeah, I mean, it was good. I'm not gonna say.
This is like the Rebels' day. We did episode 50 on the November 5th when he blew up the fucking London Bridge and Big Ben.
I didn't really plan it on that, but cool.
Whatever.
I'm glad you think that.
Well, whatever. It's if you're a true goddamn rebel out there, you at least appreciate it. Let's go ahead and go on to the numbers because it is Monday. The market opened. And to be honest, I didn't watch it much. We had a busy day doing money-making things. But the Dow did pop up 200 points. I'm going to find out who was the leader on that. S&P up modest 16 points. NASDAQ down 30. Weird.
NASDAQ came back up, though. From a really low start.
From a low start, so salvage something for the end of the day.
Something back.
Gold continues to sit at the 1232 range, and oil getting hammered back down another 29 cents, down to 62.81. Once again, good for us at the pump, not good for the commodity-backed traders of the oil industry.
At what price are you buying oil?
If USO can get to like $12.50,
$12.50.
$12.50. What's she at right now? I think she's close to the high 13s. And we're doing a Rebel trading pull up on that right now. $13.29. So a little ways to go. I don't know. I think that might be like $1.90 a gallon is what would bring it down to $12.50. I don't know though. I don't know if I wait for a dip to buy oil. I would just trade oil. I would just
as the commodity.
I would just straddle and watch the move.
Okay. I guess that's cool.
Yeah, I guess that's cool, man. I guess that's cool. So, let's go over to the Bitcoin. Pulling up on CoinMarketCap. We no longer use that Coinbase bullshit and their greedy asses. We have CoinMarketCap putting the Bitcoin at 64.28. And that's another weird thing. Bitcoin, for the longest time, I hate it. It's not fucking moving. It was the most volatile thing. You go back a year ago, we were sitting in like the 12 to 13,000 range right about these days. I bought in for the first time at 17,000, Nathan.
Disgusting. That's gross.
And now we've hovered between 63 and 66 for months. About 2 months now, and we've just been up and down, up and down. And it's weird to say that going from 6,300 to 6,430 is a slight pop-up on Bitcoin. Like, I almost hate to be excited about it, but I am. Does that make sense?
I wouldn't get terribly excited.
I don't know. Like,
you need a lot more movement. You need what we had last year. It was like a fucking herd of people.
This fucking
just coming in.
That's true. You need some excitement, and I feel like that excitement can come back. There's just an ungodly.
There's nothing to get excited about. Let me tell you this. There's nothing to get excited about unless you have scalability, unless you address scalability issues and like transaction time issues. I mean, those are two things that go hand in hand, and once you solve those things, I think it'll become more popular.
One of my favorite podcasts, Power Trading Radio, and they're very good. I know if you go back maybe 30, 40 episodes ago, at one point I said I don't know if I like them enough to plug them yet. Finally at that point where I will plug them. Very good. They had a point that if you have the ability to buy something in Bitcoin or give somebody money through Bitcoin, do it. Do that more, and that will create that demand. As weird as that sounds, like it just takes more people using it a little bit more. If you have the opportunity to pay in Bitcoin, do it. If you have the opportunity to send somebody else, a friend that you borrowed $5 from, if you have the opportunity to send them Bitcoin, do it. Help create that demand. And that's what's going to help push it back. But we know that we have like this ungodly amount of fucking support in the 6,000 range.
It could break. It could go either way.
It can go either way. I have very little bit. Dude, I literally have like maybe $7 worth of Bitcoin.
Sold it all.
But I keep it in because you just never know. You never know. It's very highly speculative. And it's a November 5th Rebel Minutemen fucking asset.
I don't know if it will repeat itself from last year. I think that's pretty extreme to think that.
I don't know. I don't think it's one and done, though.
Maybe. Maybe it's too soon.
Yeah.
I'm not one to like predict the start of things. Fuck that.
It's I'm not the one to just call that shit some Nostradamus.
Not doing it.
I mean, you could just be vague, like Nostradamus. Like, oh, at one point there's going to be some huge...
In the next 4 to 5 years, there's going to be a recession.
Do you think Bitcoin will be either at 0 or 10,000 in 5 years? Do you think it... This is a yes or no question. Do you think it will be at one of those prices in 5 years?
Ooh, I don't know, man.
Above 10 or at 0?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
You think it'll be in the middle of those?
Yep.
It's just going to hang out around where the...
It might get closer above it, maybe.
We're hodling.
It definitely won't go to 0.
Everyone is fucking hodling these days. So, anyway, do we have any sort of market news?
There's an election tomorrow. Pay attention to that. That'll definitely move the market. Also trade talks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Pay attention tomorrow because the market doesn't like uncertainty. And when you get... So right now we're certain with, I guess we could say we're certain with the GOP in office right now. And when if we get a huge shift into blue territory, then that might shake up the market. Just a big shift in a general direction in Congress will shake the market.
One of the biggest parts of that is that we know we like certainty. We like knowing to an extent, more or less, what we're going to see. Like, for example, we know how things are going under Trump and under the current administration. Like, we're comfortable with it. So if there is a vast and quick, drastic change to that, that's going to bring uncertainty to the market, and that's going to cause sell-offs. That's going to cause panic. A little bit. How much? I don't know.
I heard the Democrats were leading into Tuesday with early voting and stuff.
I mean, we also read that narrative before with HRC.
Rodham?
Yeah. 86%.
I have a book on the Clintons.
She's 97%. Is it called What Happened?
I don't know.
There's a book that Hillary Clinton wrote it's called What Happened, and I saw this meme of this stick figure opened the fucking book and it said, I lost. What
That's
happened?
Funny.
I lost. How about I was just a shitty fucking... I said it before, and I'll say it again. If the Democrats put the right person there, they would have beat Trump. Hands fucking down.
You think Hillary Clinton was the wrong candidate?
I think she was the wrong candidate.
Yeah.
She was just the most valuable.
Well, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of Hollywood influence coming in for like social medias and rallies and stuff like that. Pushing for like a Democratic kind of vote. I feel like, I don't know. They're just saying, a lot of people are just saying to vote. And then I've seen a lot of people pushing Democratic agendas and stuff like that. But I've also seen people pushing GOP agendas as well. I'm not saying one's exclusive from the other. But hang on, buddy.
Choking on a Chex Mix.
Chex.
Oh my God.
RTG cough.
I'm gonna go get some water. You hold it down.
I can hold it down.
We're going live, so we gotta.
So I got nothing else in the news. I would pay attention just to the election. Last year, or not last year, 2 years ago when Trump was elected, we saw Dow futures drop about, I don't know, a fuck ton. Do you remember what the Dow futures dropped to?
On the election night?
Yeah. When they found out Donald Trump was winning, it fucking flipped.
It was something close to 2,000 points on the Dow.
It was
overnight.
crazy. So Dow futures dropped, so pay attention to that. Definitely pay attention to futures because the election results will come in after hours and overnight. So definitely pay attention to futures. Other than that, I think that's it for me.
Speaking of the watch the futures thing, we also of all the four major markets: bonds, stocks, futures / commodities, and
Cryptocurrencies?
no, what's the other one? Commodities? Maybe three currencies? Whatever it was. Stock market is the smallest of the markets. Sorry, we've been drinking.
Futures and commodities a certain thing? Or two things?
You can trade index futures. You can also trade futures on currencies. There's spot
foreign exchange.
There it is. That's what it was. Futures, currencies,
currencies,
commodities, and bonds. Those are the four major markets. And of those four major markets, stocks are the smallest. So when the futures market or the bonds market or the currency market makes a very drastic, significant move quickly, that's more cause of concern in my eyes.
Because one of the bigger markets?
Because the people that move money in those markets are large institutions. They're global banks. They're global central banks moving money from this pocket to that pocket. It's this corporation moving money from here to this fund. That shit like that. So. It's just a thing to watch.
Would you ever buy bonds?
It's a thing to keep in mind.
When are you going to buy bonds? When's a good time to buy bonds in someone's life?
The best time to buy bonds is coming out of a recession, when the bonds have been sold off and hit the hardest, and people just want out. Mm-hmm. And then you're able to buy a $100,000 bond for $69,000. That's an actual thing. People do that. That's bond trading. Mm. For example, people who bought Ford bonds during the recession made fuckloads of money because they never once defaulted on their bonds. But people who had them sold them off for less than they were worth because they wanted the security of getting their money back rather than holding through the recession. Very interesting, huh?
Ford's trading at $9.50 right now. I'm up. 84% on my Ford trades.
Did you know 2 automotive companies have never declared bankruptcy in their lives?
It's a GM and who is it? It's Ford. I don't know. For sure it's Ford because we're talking about it.
Ford is one of them. Come on, there's one more.
Okay. Ford and Chrysler.
Ford and Tesla.
Fuck Tesla. Tesla does not count. Tesla does not count. Tesla's not a car company. They're fucking. Hey, this should be a tech company.
They're part of that statistic. They've never declared any sort of bankruptcy.
I guess if you fudge numbers around, you don't have to.
Yeah. Hey, they made profits on their last quarter. Did you see that?
They made big profits.
They made significant.
But they're still down for the year.
The problem is they need to be fucking. They need to be solidified. I'd say 2 more quarters of profits, and then maybe we start to see some footing.
Wow. Jason's a popular man.
I don't know. I just got a call from Chicago. That might have been the CME themselves calling to let me know about the interest rates.
No, we don't really have a focus for this episode, do we?
Not really. It's just 50.
Fuck that.
I'm toasty. We've been day drinking. We're bringing episode 50 to you together. And we're hanging out, sipping whiskey.
Whiskey
and,
straight.
Just enjoying
That's how the rebels
company.
drink. It's whiskey. Whiskey all night.
I used to be so against liquor. You might even remember those days when all I wanted to do was drink beer. I was like, dude, I want to drink fucking... I hate whiskey. I hated vodka.
I remember drinking...
I hated taking shots, dude. I just hated it. It was
I hated
beer
taking
or
shots. I still hate taking shots.
I hate taking shots. But I don't know. I can do a whiskey on the rocks now.
Whiskey's easy for me. I don't know.
Did you ever have to force yourself to drink whiskey? I feel like I forced myself to like it.
No, I just became a fucking man one day and just started drinking whiskey.
That's how I was. My mother purchased me a bottle of...
I think it was like Thanksgiving and hanging out with family. Like, I would just drink, like... My dad would kind of drink it, so I would kind of just, I guess, replicate him. It was just something casual to drink. You don't have to fucking chug a glass of whiskey.
It's very casual.
It's very upsetting to see someone chug a bottle or glass of whiskey. It's inappropriate, almost.
I would always see people, like, in movies or television, like, pour a glass of whiskey, and then they would just, like, they had this sense of satisfaction and enjoyment. I was like, I can see that. I kind of get it. So for one time... I know I didn't like whiskey or liquor, but I was like, you know what? I feel like if I drank it over the rocks, I could learn to like it. Oh. So for Christmas, my mother bought me a little bit of Johnny Walker and a little bit of Crown Royal, and I drank them over the rocks. And after the 3rd glass, I started to kind of enjoy it, just like I expected. It went down smooth, and I learned to appreciate the different tastes and textures. And then now it's like the primary drink. And now that I am the gluten-free Jason Bessing and I can't drink beer, whiskey's my primary
go-to drink? Yeah. Your go-to?
I know that's a little tangent that has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
That's okay. It's a celebratory...
This is a celebratory cast.
Celebrate episode.
Celebratory cast. So I'm not even going to get into market terminology. I don't even want to know what you're watching. But...
No, it's just good to be here together and talk. And, this is a special episode, so...
Let's talk future predictions.
Okay.
Let's talk looking forward.
I could do that. You want to do... So, let's do
going back
end of year. How end of year?
End of year. So, I heard this from a previous podcast, and this was a great idea. Like, if you take all of the factors out there, the things that could push the market up and things that could push the market down, and you were able to...
I know lots of things that can push the market down.
There you go, bingo. It seems to be that there's a lot more factors out there that could push the market down versus up. So let's start with that. Can we kind of...
Yeah, you go ahead.
Let's go. So, right off the top, we have tariffs. We still have the trade concerns. Granted, we seem to be looking better on that than we did 6 months ago when we started this podcast. But
not really.
What do you mean?
I think there's been... I need to get a coffee.
Yeah.
I think there's been more concern of increased trade tensions.
Yeah. Well, it goes on and off. It's up and down. It went great. It sucked. It went great. It sucked. It's up, down. It's up, down.
I think it was very
slaps
aggressive.
their fucking headlines to it.
It was very aggressive in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
It was almost like
it was to get attention. It was to get attention. It was like, let's pull some leverage from each other so that we both can come to the table.
You have to do that, though. You can't just say, oh, wow, now I have to pay more. Now I can do that, because sometimes you can't afford that. So a way to combat that is provide your own leverage.
There you go.
It just happens. But it comes to the point where, like, we see, like, very, I guess, could I say similar to Pearl Harbor kind of reactionary things?
Like a small thing happens, so we nuke them?
No, Pearl Harbor. Didn't they react to us?
Well, they wanted us to not enter the war at all.
Well, there's certain things like that. Then I would say that was this is a certain thing. You keep fucking trading it up or you keep anteing up at the ante. We're gonna fucking react. That's not an economical thing. It's gonna be an actual physical thing. Mm-hmm. So there's one thing. The trade issues. Trade issues. Okay. Another thing I see is tomorrow there is an election. I think flip-flopping from red to blue Congress will shift the market. It'll scare the market. I'm not saying a blue Congress is bad. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying a shift in focus will kind of shake the market. I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
And you remember my thoughts. I want the Democrats to take it back. That way the Democrats and the Republicans can both sit there and look at each other and go, duh, duh, duh. And they can't agree on shit in the free market during that time frame.
Well, if one party controls Congress, then stuff's going to pass.
Well, they're going to dictate the oil prices and the demand and the supply. It's going to go by the buyers and consumers if they can't agree on regulation.
What would be interesting to see is if it's a blue Congress, not a Senate, if it's a blue Congress, I would love to see how Trump reacts, because it's going to be bloody. It's going to be a bloody Twitter.
They're going to go after him.
It's going to be close to impeachment, man.
Well, we can come to that in a second. Actually, you know what? Let's go to that now. I think if by the time Trump gets impeached, he's going to be done.
You think he's going to get impeached? I don't think he will.
If he were to.
I don't think he will.
I think his term will be end. If it's going to happen, it's going to be so close to the end that he'll just not run again and be done.
I think any president who comes into office now is going to be covered up. Non-impeachable. Yeah. It's got to be something
like that Kavanaugh shit where they sent out the decoys and they were like, "Oh no, that was me who raped you, not him." Did you see that?
Heard that? No.
You didn't hear that? No, they sent out. There were men who came forward saying that, "Oh, he didn't rape you, I did."
That's disgusting. That makes me sick.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that was like Trump on the phone. Send in the decoys. Send the Volkeyes.
Maybe.
Send them in now. Send them in.
I don't know.
Oh no, I raped you. I paid him $100,000 to say that.
I could believe it. I could definitely believe the theory. I love theories. I couldn't believe the theory, but I like the theory.
I want to believe that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can believe that, but I want to.
It's a cool story, man. You think he's going to get impeached, man?
I don't. I think
you don't.
I think if he were to, though, if it's on the brink, it's going to be on year 3, month 10.
Dude, if he does, If he gets impeached, that will 100% shake the market.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to put it in free fall, dude.
Absolutely, because it's going to change all kinds of shit. And we're about that. As
Tariffs
traders,
are going to change?
As traders, we need to know how to navigate those waters.
Here's the thing. If he gets impeached, who gets into office?
Well,
Mike Pence.
On paper, Mike Pence.
Mike Pence is going to office. He's still MAGA. When you become vice president, you have that meeting.
He's a weirdo.
Mike Pence is a limp dick. Excuse me. Shout out GOP. But I don't like Mike Pence. I like Donald Trump's strong, big stick, big dick. But I don't like Mike Pence. I think he's very soft-spoken. I think he, I don't know, could be a better vice president, do better kind of like duties as a vice president, I feel like. I can't
tell you one fucking thing he's done.
I don't think Joe Biden was that much better.
No, Joe Biden was an ass.
Biden was just funny.
You see him fucking laughing during the fucking debates. He's like,
that's why he was funny. That's why I like I'm sorry. What's his name? Joe Biden. Because he was a fucking goof. Yeah. He was such a goof.
He was just a career politician. He's a fucking cunt. So.
There's that, and then another thing
What else can push markets down?
Federal Reserve.
There you go. We're jacking up the rates, baby.
We'll increase rates up. They'll do it. They're going to do it, too.
And they're going to do it too hard. But let's just say...
They have indicators. The Federal Reserve has indicators that say, if this is like this, we do this. Mm-hmm. And if enough flags go up, they're like, oh, keep raising it. I just think it should be like a flexible system and not just one kind of merit. It should that agency of a Federal Reserve system that controls inflation should have more scrutiny, or as much scrutiny as the justice system does.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's the problem. They're not held. This could kind of go into a fucking rabbit hole.
It's okay.
But the Federal Reserve is not part of the government. They're not held to governmental standards. They're not held to constitutional regulations. They're looked at as a corporation. And that's a big loophole in the Constitution and the fucking dilution and raping of our money and currency.
Raping of our currency?
Raping of our currency. If you put money into a savings account for 10 years, you will lose money due to the inflation rate. On paper, you'll be like, oh, my $100,000 is safe. But 5 years later, the value of that might have decreased 4%.
The U.S. dollar is an attractive currency, though, worldwide.
Yeah. But it still, inflation just constantly, as they continue to print money, the average rate is 2% a year.
Thing. When you're trading,
average rate is 2% a year.
I've read a little bit of fundamentals about foreign exchange, and they say you want to kind of look for a country that's got a rising interest rates because they'll loan out their dollars for more dollars.
They also loan to other countries, but they also said that they're not printing anymore. They're doing the opposite. They're pulling the money back into the system. They're deleting some of the money.
So doesn't that make the currency more valuable?
That's what it's supposed to do on paper. But if we also get pushed into a recession because of it, that will not become true.
It'll be bad.
It will be very bad. Because the idea is to make the dollar harder to get. If the dollar is harder to get, that makes it valuable. Just like gold. Gold is not easy to obtain. It's hard to get pure, concentrated gold bars. It's very expensive to find, get all that extracted, and put into that perfect form, right? You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
So, the harder it is to get, the more value it has. So, if they start deleting those, but at the same time they start deleting those, people can't get them at all. That's what pushes us into the recession. That's what pushes the student loans into fucking explosion. Long Bitcoin. That's a safe haven.
That's the end of the discussion. Don't invest into equities anymore.
And that's episode 50.
Episode 50. And that's it. And we're starting our cryptocurrency segments of Rebel Trading Group.
So what else do you see could push down the markets?
I think a big crash. I don't know. Well, obviously, a big sell-off, more than a correction. I'm talking and it's got to be. It has to be one of the biggest. I don't know what else would push the market down, man. That's all I think. I think a momentous kind of fall, a momentous sell-off.
So we have geopolitical issues. We have
overinflated equities. Is not
we could always say that the Middle East is a wild card, and that turmoil goes up and down. Yeah, now we're seeing it between Saudis and the Iranians.
Sure. Ongoing holy war.
Just ongoing wars for thousands of years because it's very profitable and it's very beneficial to everybody. It's beautiful. War is beautiful. Let's talk about things that could push the market up. What if the trade talks get better?
You mean like China
what if we agree? What if we all decide
taxes on automakers?
Yeah, what if they just cut them in half or 75%? Oh,
I'd buy options on the triple leverage Chinese fund. YINN.
Yen. Good old yenners.
And then there's the inverse yang. Yin and yang.
Yangers.
I'd buy that.
Yangers cover. I would sell the fucking condors on that bitch.
Condors? Condors are non-movement.
I know.
How would you do that?
I know. Get both of them.
You condor both of them?
What else could push the markets up?
Oh, okay. I want to talk about China for a bit, man. I mean, like China's they're bear marketing
on paper, or what the books say. China has the most growth potential of any of the major markets out there, major international markets out there. That being said, China's been in a major decline.
Yeah, it's in a bear market.
Bear market.
Just said that.
And it's hard to really want to invest in them because they have corruption issues.
Fuck them. Invest in the corruption.
Well, that too. But at the same time, they fudge numbers. But you can only fudge numbers for so long. At the end of the day,
you have to fudge numbers with the biggest population in the world. You gotta.
But at the end of the day,
make some round numbers here and there.
At the end of the day, that can only be done for so long before money stops coming in. Before the investors say, "No, I'm not buying any more bonds from you." Before they say that, and they say, "Well, shit, now we're out of money. We can't fudge the numbers anymore," and it just tanks at the end. Dude, I wish I remember the fucking stock. There was a stock.
There'd be a bailout.
There was a stock about 8 days ago that shot up 600%. It went from like $1.73 to like 9 something. And it was a Chinese metal company that went from like a $6 million market cap to like $35 million market cap in the matter of one trading session. And then the next day was delisted, never heard of again.
They all died.
What?
Disappeared.
That's some Chinese bullshit. That Chinese bullshit is out there. But, like you said, yin and yang, those are the leveraged versions of them. CAF is one of my favorites. It has it's got a solid annual dividend, but it's exposure to multiple Chinese companies. Us as Americans, I wouldn't recommend targeting single Chinese companies. The only one I would recommend is Yum China. It's the only one true Chinese company I would recommend. Other than that, I recommend a fund that covers multiple Chinese companies,
Yin and Yang,
especially the banks.
The top 30. Yin and Yang cover the top 30.
Top 30. It's like their version of the 30. And I think 30. CAF is the top 50.
Top 50, I think it is. Actually, yeah.
And that's the Morgan Stanley ETF. So.
What time is it, man?
35 minutes. We'll get ready to wrap it up here. I don't even want to talk about what I'm watching.
What are you watching?
I said I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Well, to be honest, I'm waiting for more movement. Most of the things on my watch list have either not confirmed a buy signal or have ran up.
How do you confirm a buy signal?
In my eyes, when the dividend yield is just right, when the price is just right, when the PE is just right, when the cash flow is just right, when the payout ratio is just right.
How often do you get
after
that?
If it's slaughtered like a 7 to 10% drop, that's instantly I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna give you a glance, especially if you pay a good dividend.
Buy signals. We should have an episode on signals.
I mean, buy signals are different for everybody. It can be on a technical standpoint. It could be on a fundamental standpoint. I like to incorporate a little bit of both. I like to do like a long-term. That's true. long-term technical, like such as something that, like a double or triple bottom over the course of a year or two.
Like Ford's doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Nokia has done at the $5 range. Throw that in there real quick, even though she's pushing the 580s. Remember 2-3 weeks ago I said I was eyeing the 550 calls?
I'm not doing it.
Here we go. She's at 584. Let us do the go.
I'm not buying Nokia.
I know. It's not off the top of my head, and like most people, yeah, it sounds stupid. But if you know anything about the company and you've read all their shit, they're no longer the Nokia that you once knew 15 years ago. It's a completely different
I just
Nokia.
think you're competing against Apple regardless.
No, you're not competing against. They're a telecommunications services company. They provide broadband software to providers of network services in Europe. They don't build smartphones. They don't do BlackBerry shit anymore. They don't do that. They got out of that space. They make Verizon's towers. They provide Verizon's software. That's the shit they do, but they do it in Europe. They are.
What does Apple do in Europe?
They're pushing the 5G. Dude, Apple is not a technology company. It's a consumer goods company. Get them out of the head. Get that out of your head. They are not technology. They're consumer goods. Because at the end of the day, they're not necessarily catering to businesses. They're catering to everybody else. Microsoft,
going into like
IBM,
more like
going for businesses.
They're following everybody, going into kind of like that streaming services thing.
Yeah. The iCloud. Yeah. They're starting to do their own private content. Absolutely. That's consumer goods. That's not Nokia. Nokia is a telecom. It's a AT&T Verizon play. It's not.
You still have like.
It's not a smartphone. Samsung.
You think Apple's done like?
It's not a BlackBerry. Oh, it's not a Motorola.
Everybody buys iPhones.
Everybody does. Nokia still maintains like a $36 billion market cap. It's huge.
Short.
It's big.
Short.
A 4% dividend.
Shorting.
You know what? As much as why
are you upset with me?
The only reason that I don't disagree with the short though is she does put in she puts in beautiful chart patterns. Let's pull her up real quick. She puts in very defined charts, and she's easy to read. That's one of the reasons I like her. I'm gonna pull up NOK is the Nokia.
Knock.
And let's pull up the year. She puts in this defined channel, dude. Look, and it's right there. Look at that double bottom. That's arguably a double bottom, but that 5 range is fucking strong, son.
Dude, it's 5-year. Put its 5-year up.
Still, it's on a downward trend.
It's still kind of channeled.
100
what is that?
most
Negative
popular.
What? Negative 7%.
7%. Still maintains growth. 70% buy rating.
70% buy rating. Fuck you.
I mean, yeah, I know it looks hard. It's hard to pull the trigger.
It's a
turnaround. It's not going to be the. And like, I don't know. This is a good covered call one. Sell the 6 calls. Sell the 650s. What are you watching? What's your grand fucking plan?
For what?
What are you watching? What's?
Are you watching Nokia?
No.
Well, what do you mean grand plan?
What are you watching? What do you think is a good play?
I think just buy a bunch of cheaper dividend-paying stocks.
This is just a good time to accumulate.
Everything's on sale now. Honestly, what I think you should do, get a cash position, man. Get a giant cash position right now.
You know, Warren Buffett's got one of the largest cash positions he's ever had in his life right now. In the life of Berkshire, I mean.
Yeah, that should be a sign of itself.
There you go.
Get a cash position, man.
There you go. Never hurts to be.
Ride this roller coaster.
Get ready to go for whatever is about to happen.
Make people think there's about to be a recession, and then just put your money in and say no.
Yeah.
Correction.
Get ready to buy your favorites too. This is the time to buy your favorites. Like off the top of your head, what's some of your 3 favorites that on a good dip you want to buy?
AT&T.
Boom. What else?
I don't know.
Give me just 2 more.
JP Morgan Chase.
There you go.
Why were you hesitant about
I'm just saying, like, what's like a good 7-10% drop in your
buy Apple again.
and you want to buy a little more Apple. See, for me, it's like Coca-Cola. I like to see
anything in the Dow.
7-10% dip on Coca-Cola. I'd like to see 7-10% on Verizon. I'd also like to see 7-10% again on, I don't know, MGM's already been beaten up, so that's hard to pull. I would say Realty Income.
I got store in my REITs right now. I'm building up on that. I like that. I'm going to try and cover those at one point.
Sell the calls?
Yeah.
Just massive income? Mm-hmm. I'm about it. So, you want to pull it for 50?
Pull it for 50?
Pull it for 50. Let's
do it.
You can at us at rebeltradinggroup@gmail.com. That's Rebel Trading Group with 2 G's at gmail.com. Our whole archive is on YouTube, available to you for free, and always will be available on YouTube. Just search for Rebel Trading Group, SoundCloud, Twitch, YouTube,
Rebel Trading Group,
Facebook, StockTwits. We out, yo. So.
We out, yo.
So, thanks for listening. I don't know
about the store covered calls. They don't make a lot of money.
No, they don't. But you're also gotta know that those premiums have the dividend built into them. That's why the premiums aren't that good, because they know that you're going to get them premiums.
You're going to get them divvies.
Yeah. What's the price at right now? $22.50.
Yeah.
Is that $20.250?
$29.45.
Is the share price?
Yeah.
So what's like the 30 for like January? Yeah, those aren't very good. The 30 call, 70. I don't know. That's not horrible, but you're getting a dividend between. That's a quarterly dividend, right? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, hit us up, guys.
Hit us up. Thanks for listening. You had a choice, and you chose to spend these 40 minutes with us. So thank you. And we'll see you for the next 50s. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Ding! There it is. All right. Later, guys.
Shut up and sit down.